Alrighty, let's start by talking about the wild things that are going down with Deebo Samuel on the San Francisco 49ers. So, the 49ers off-season voluntary program, it was this week, and Deebo Samuel is eligible for a contract extension starting this year. And he hasn't shown up to training camp, and he's also made it public that he wants out of San Francisco and wants a more traditional wide receiver role, as compared to what Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers have done with him and the dynamic playmaker that he is. So here's what I'm going to take away from this. Number one, Deebo Samuel is not being appreciative enough of why he's such a dangerous playmaker, and why he is revered in the eyes of San Francisco fans. And if you look at a lot of the tape from last year, it is clear how important Deebo Samuel is to the San Francisco offense. And granted, a team that's been hampered by injuries a lot the last couple of years, the Deebo Samuel's ability to beat you in so many different ways is such a blessing for Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers. But look, Deebo Samuel deserves to get paid, and I think it's up to the 49ers to actually make a move and try to do something with it. However, I think the 49ers need to be smart and responsible here, because the 49ers have a lot of young players that are going to be eligible for contract extensions in the next couple of years. You look at Nick Bosa, you look at Mike McGlinchey on the offensive line. You look at you look at so many different players on both sides of the football that have been so vital to the 49ers' success the last 3 years, that they made 2 appearances on Championship Sunday. And the fact that Deebo Samuel wants out of San Francisco, I think should alarm everybody, for all parties involved. And how about Deebo Samuel going further and liking tweets about him playing for the Dallas Cowboys? Spoiler alert, the Cowboys don't know how to manage the salary cap, and Deebo Samuel will not be a member of the Dallas Cowboys. But all of that aside, so there are teams, in my view, that could certainly pounce on Deebo Samuel. Now, the dream rumors that I've been looking at with teams like the Jets. Remember, Robert Saleh was the defensive coordinator for 2 of his first seasons in San Francisco, and he knows Deebo Samuel, and he knows how important he is to San Francisco's offense. I think the Green Bay Packers would make a lot of sense, because they let Marquez Valdes-Scantling go in free agency, and they traded Devontae Adams to the Raiders for first round picks in both now and the future. So I think the Packers need to, if the opportunity is there, they need to give Aaron Rodgers a true number 1 wide receiver, because look, the Packers I think are the team to beat in the division, because Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback. Both the offensive line and defensive lines are solid, and they have a strong rushing attack with A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones. But Aaron Rodgers needs a true number 1 receiver so that he can elevate his game and elevate the Packers game to the next level. Now, the Kansas City Chiefs are a team that could also be interested in Deebo Samuel, but this is something that I think needs to be said about the Chiefs. And right now, I would put the Chiefs at number 3 in the division. I would put the Broncos at number 1. I think the Chargers will be at number 2. I would put Kansas City at number 3 and the Raiders at number 4. The people forget that the Chiefs have the best coach and the best quarterback in the division. Patrick Mahomes can create his own wide receivers. I don't think the Chiefs need to trade for Deebo Samuel because first of all, the draft picks I think should be used on on a linebacker or another wide receiver or someone to replace Tyrann Mathieu in the secondary. I think the Chiefs are going to be fine. They should not be trading for Deebo Samuel because now you're going to have the impression that Deebo Samuel is going to bring a lot of baggage because he wants to be a traditional wide receiver, yet he earned his value and he earned a future mega buck extension. So by willingly utilizing himself in so many different ways. So I think the Chiefs would be mistaking themselves if they trade for Deebo Samuel it's because of the ability of Patrick Mahomes to create wide receivers of his own. And also, by the way, Patrick Mahomes' contract extension kicks in this year, and thus a $35 million cap hit this year, a nearly $47 million cap hit next year. I think the Chiefs are going to be fine without Deebo Samuel. So I think but the Packers, meanwhile, should try to get Deebo Samuel. I mean, in all things involved. Also, the Jets should try to trade for Deebo Samuel as well because Zach Wilson desperately needs the number one wide receiver. So the Jets can properly evaluate as Zach Wilson with a true number one wide receiver, and the Jets had arguably the worst wide receiver room in the NFL last year. I mean, with all intents and purposes. So I think that those teams, if the 49ers do decide to trade, which I disagree with, I would emphasize over and over again how valuable he is. And look, Deebo Samuel is probably going to want Tyreek Hill money, and fair or not, I think that's the way it's going to go with the money here. Now, the salary cap is going to increase. Let's say the salary cap is going to increase by $10 million annually under the collective bargaining agreement. So I think the 49ers need to ignore the noise and prompt Deebo Samuel to show up and make it known to him how valuable he is. So if I'm the 49ers, I would focus on trying to see if Trey Lance is the answer, and who knows if Trey Lance is the answer for the 49ers, and it doesn't it doesn't look promising on the part of San Francisco because Trey Lance was sitting out for much of last year, that Kyle Shanahan is a little dissatisfied with his development, and Jimmy Garoppolo not being able to take the 49ers to that next level. So there's going to be a lot of pressure on San Francisco. Now, they have the roster to make the playoffs in a rather weak NFC, and I think in terms of the playoffs, I think they'll be fine. But if you look at a team like the Rams, if you look at a team like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I would have to venture to guess that San Francisco is on a tier below where Todd Bowles' bunch is and where Sean McVay's bunch is. So that's where we need to think about for the 49ers. So but the 49ers, if they decide to trade him, they should ask for everything. And I think the Chiefs would be a team that would be a good trade partner, except I don't think Kansas City's interest should be, in acquiring Deebo Samuel, and instead looking to position yourself in 2023 and 2024 and 2025 to be a Super Bowl caliber team and focus on them. But as I've been emphasizing the entire off season.